Divine greetings, masters. Thank you so much for joining. This is Madhu Soni, welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English Group. Thank you for being here, masters. And today we have Neeraja Ji with us. So I would like to welcome Neeraja Ji. And so Neeraja Ji, very warm welcome to you in this Light and Soul Meditation English Group. So today, as you all know, masters, um, past week we were doing the Swadhyaya of Your Soul's Plan book written by Robert Schwartz. And today we will be reading from page number 87 to 97. And Nirja ji would be taking us to the pages, and through her, we would come to know what the author has written and what he states. But before that, I would like to share that Nirja ji is, she's from Texas, Austin, and she works in Washington, D.C. remotely. She is also an environmental toxicologist, and basically where a scientist, um, she's a scientist who works with others to set safe levels for many pollutants. And she came in US in 1991 for higher studies. She's a mother of two children, one a boy and a girl. Both are working now, and she also has two furry munchkins, her rescue dogs, and she actually shares their birthday with them, basically her birthday with them. And she loves to read, loves to go for long walks with her dogs, hiking, growing vegetables in her own garden, and according to the climate and time, if it permits. And also, she says that she stumbled into the world of meditation when she was in college, and she read Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yoganand, and which made a big impact on her life. She was also initiated into Sahaj meditation in 2000, and later she also joined the Art of Living by Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and Sudarshan Kriya in 2008. She has attended one of the PSSM sessions, and in 2022, where one of her and she also says that, where it was like when one of her family member was experiencing several severe mental health issue. So basically she met Chandra sir there, and he asked her to go into past life regression and gave few names of the books that she read, which opened her eyes to this new world, to a different set of world. And definitely she's very grateful for her general health and family and also job. She had encountered many obstacles, as she has told me, by lot of challenges in her lives, but she all came out, and she came out of all those challenges in her personal and professional life. But definitely she feels that there are many angels around her who are helping her at this moment, and also helping many times in her life. And there were her sister, middle sister, who helped her as a spiritual teacher, her daughter, and many other masters, and she has named me also, but I would say she was already much into spirituality much before she came and met me. But definitely I'm so happy and proud to meet her here, to know her as a person. And it's really interesting that people from different backgrounds, when they come and meet, and we all vibrate at one single soul level, and this is wonderful. Basically, diversity in unity, or sorry, unity in diversity.
Diversity.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Nirja ji, for coming here and sharing your background with us, sharing your personal life with us, and happy to know that you are also a part of our Swadhyaya club, and we are all doing your source plan, which has not only changed your life, but it also has changed mine and many others who would be listening and who are already listening. So thank you for being here, masters, and so very warm welcome, Nirja ji. Thank you so much for joining. Over to you now.
Okay. Namaste, everybody. Namaste, masters. It's a wonderful opportunity. I was given this book in 2022. I got a PDF of that and I read it, and I'm glad that we brought it up again in this, because I was looking, when I was saving it on my computer, it said, do you want to save another copy?
Wow.
But interestingly, today it was, I was walking my dogs with my daughter, and I just tripped and fell. And I mean, it was like, so I was thinking, oh, should I call and cancel it? I just fell on my forehead. I mean, it's just that I think, you make a slip, but you wouldn't believe how many people suddenly came there. Like my daughter was there and my neighbors were there. But everything is good. If I'm sounding a little oozy, it's like I
Don't
just
worry, don't
like
bother.
in Home Alone 2, that Home Alone, the guy falls, right? It's like that, like cartoon character.
Yeah. No, no, no. If you are okay, can I share my twins'
Yes,
pictures?
yes, yes.
Can I share your picture?
Yeah, yes.
Just because, she shared with me. Just,
You wouldn't believe, today we harvested 15 pounds of tomatoes.
wow, wow, wow. That's,
Well, tomorrow's those are my two dogs, Kala and Susie.
wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
this is the vegetable that she
Yeah.
grew in her
This
farm.
year's Lauki was like crazy.
Yeah. And then she has bitter melon as well. And
Yeah.
apple is there. Then
Yeah.
tomatoes that
Tomatoes.
she has shared. A
Today we
wonderful picture, right? In
had.
her home and picture. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you so much,
So,
Neeraji, for sharing
yeah,
wonderful pictures. Over to you now, and let
sure.
all
So
the
I'm just starting out just a little bit on how the nice session we had yesterday, where we ended up with where Jennifer was. And it kind of talks about Jennifer being a very caring person, has always been a caring person. And she just cares by her history of like doing for others and caring for others, because she feels that's the best way to give to somebody you love. So we start with that. And from there, the author says that we are going to move on to Ryan, her son. And so again, Stacy is the medium, as everybody is following. So Stacy shifts to a different portion of the pre-birth planning, and she sees in her while she's looking into it, that she sees a soul of Ryan talking with Jennifer. And if you remember from the last session, we heard that Ryan had wanted this soul to experience imbalances. And that was a kind of a way where he wanted to see that Jennifer, to kind of help Jennifer also to be more focused. Because as you will see in the next few sentences and as we go to the paragraphs, Jennifer had a tendency to not be very focused. So this kind of having a son who has these challenges, mental health issues, was helping her be focused. And because every time Ryan acts up, it was a challenge for her to stay calm and focused to what really matters. And not that just because Ryan is a special needs child, but for many of us, right, when something is going on, to remain calm and focused in the eye of the storm is very hard sometimes, and sometimes those tantrums can get really big. So that part was Ryan's way of helping Jennifer. He says that I'm asking my guide, the author was saying that I'm asking my guide to show me specifically the purposes these challenges will serve for Ryan. And then Stacy says that she's listening to the spirit guide's word, and she says that Ryan had 7 lifetimes where it was very hardworking, studious, intelligent. In one since lifetime, he was a scientist, and he was just tired of all that rigorous thing that is needed in that scientific background. So he wanted something in this life to kind of have an imbalanced one, to kind of balance the previous extreme rigorous life that he had. And then they're asking about the specific chores, like choices, for example, the handicaps, why those specific handicaps were chosen. And in this case, if you think about it, it's like opposites, because of his highly balanced life in the past, as we just spoke. By having a sort of this kind of a mental health challenge, this let him have more freedom to explore what he wants. His challenge, if you remember, is autism, and that was just enough for him, for that handicap, that nobody would expect him to perform too highly. And then Jennifer was willing to give in, because she understood that having so much of a balanced life, Ryan never had that opportunity or freedom to just do what he wants. And so she was able to give them, and she agreed to be a mother and take on that challenge. Stacy keeps saying that she's very, she was listening to her guide, to present specific information. And then it was interesting that she could channel Ryan directly. And it says that Stacy was now speaking much more slowly and somewhat haltingly because she's trying to listen, she's trying to explain. It is felt that, it says in parentheses, it is felt that this situation appearing as it is forced on her, in that it is a responsibility from which she cannot escape. This will help her force her to narrow her focus in life and give up personal freedom that would otherwise be far too tempting to her, as it has been in the past lives when she was not so serious about life. It says that when she gave herself over to pleasures and temptations that do not make for a satisfying life. So it was a little bit of a frivolous, she went more into pleasures and temptations. This life, by caring for Ryan, it was much more giving, more compassionate, and they feel that that's a much more satisfying life compared to her previous lives. So she realizes that she also agreed to have this challenge without a husband because she decided to go and have a divorce. So she's kind of shouldering this burden alone. So earlier, Corby had seen in a lifetime in which Jennifer had developed a skill, and that was about communication, more specifically truthful communication, that would be of very value to her sons. Stacy's spirit guide was now referring to some of Jennifer's other past lives. Sometimes there are a few specific lifetimes where you have the greatest relevance to and impact on the planning. From now, the author says, feeling that I had an understanding of why Jennifer, Ryan, and Bradley had planned their lives as they had, I decided, he says, to expand the inquiry, the questioning. He says, what else motivates roles to plan lives as parents of handicapped children? He asked. And I'm sure this is a question that comes to many who go through this. And so I'm just going to read from here because the way, instead of paraphrasing, handicaps are chosen by souls because it gives them opportunities they would not normally have, replied the spirit guide. Sometimes it gives souls a very different way to learn the same lesson they have been working on in previous lives. Often it is chosen as a challenge to the caretaker to show compassion, mercy, and love. Souls choose to honor other souls by making themselves the vehicles through which they can be born. They choose to care for the souls by allowing them, the handicapped children, to live this life as they wished, less involved in the ordinary, everyday functions of life. He says it's a unique opportunity for the handicapped child, and it's an opportunity for the parent to show love, and these agreements are made out of love. So when parents have a handicapped child, sometimes, which is by norm, you feel guilty or you blame them. You can tend to blame yourself, or you'll say, is it due to genetics? And so the question is like, what would you say to, what are the learning lessons from this? How will it help other people? And so the answer comes as self-blame is actually self-pity. That is not where the focus should be. The focus should be on the child. Everything is for a purpose. What you feel is a disadvantage is a challenge that can often turn out to be an advantage. We have to remember that this was planned. So then when you know this was a planned activity, planned experience, this will help shift the perspective. The perspective will move from blame, guilt, and shame that do not serve any purpose and that kind of hold one back from progress. Now, instead, if you think of it as an experience, then you will take this challenge as an opportunity and see this child and your life from a very higher perspective. So that was very beautiful. I think it's a very good lesson for for all of us. I also thought of Bradley's temper tantrums, particularly the way in which he became upset. If something he had anticipated did not take place, for example, Jennifer has to be very precise in her use of language with Bradley. I told him, what would you say about the issue of communication with handicapped children? So the answer, it is impossible to communicate clearly and concisely without a sense of self-worth and confidence. When parents communicate with each other, accepting all that they are and all that they feel, then you can communicate better with others. That is, if you have self-worth and self-confidence, and you're able to accept the other person, your communication is more positive and it is better. As children grow and discover their own self-worth, they challenge their parents to do the same. And I don't know if it has happened in your lives, but it always happens. Sometimes when I tend to use some words and the kids will say, why do you put yourself down? You need to be able to be more, be positive about what it is, or have more confidence when you're talking, or when you're disciplining, or when you're trying to communicate. So again, this is part of Jennifer's life, where in this lifetime, she wanted to be less spontaneous. In the past lives, her overly spontaneous, where she did not actually make the best choices for herself. And now that the children in this case are also demanding that she follow through, because sometimes we all know this doesn't have to be specifically for handicapped children or something. You tell children something without paying too much attention, they will hold you like, you told me that, you said you will do that, you better do that. And so that's what the children in this case were also helping her work on this lesson. This too often words are said very cavalry without thinking of the impact they will have. And I was trying to spend some time what it is, and it is like we sometimes very, again, kind of sort of reiterating, we casually say something without thinking that the kids really understand, or without, sometimes parents have that feeling of superiority. Oh, I'm just saying for the sake of saying. It could be, it's like an adverb with many things. So you say it without giving much thought. But in many cases, I've noticed this, especially in autistic and others, if you have them in your family or in your, or in general children, they remind parents to make their communications clear. Otherwise, you kind of confuse them. So speak in small languages, be more clear, be more positive, and do what you said you would do. Jennifer, Ryan, and Bradley's story shows how there is no blame or fault involved in giving birth to a handicapped child. And so this is so valuable for parents who are struggling with, what did I do wrong, or what was the reason why this happened. Generally, children choose their handicaps before birth for the growth that will result. Similarly, the souls who plan to be the parents choose that experience for that learning it will engender. Because for me, I come from in my background, for professionally, genetics is a big part. So we always tell, if you have a disease or a thing, what is the role of, how much role is it from the genetics, and how much is it from the environment? And now we have a totally whole thing, what has happened in a previous life. It'll be interesting to bring this discussion to my work or something. But it's it's not like any parents' mistake or fault that this happened, but it was just an experience that they had decided or planned. To some extent, such planning is based on past lives. In response to an emotionally harsh lifetime in which he was raised in an orphanage, Bradley designed a life in which he would be safe, nurtured, and supported. His decision to heal the residual fears and trauma of that life is not surprising, because he was so traumatized in that orphanage, as we heard yesterday, and a rest from that intense pressure also from the previous rigorous scientific background that he had. By creating lives in which they're challenged to communicate their truths to the world, both Ryan and Bradley sought also to balance the karma caused by the actions during the World War II. We remember that they were talking that they were on the other side, like with the Nazis and all, and so this was kind of the way to balance. In her lifetime during the war, Jennifer had being shoved away or not heard. Perhaps she, like Bradley, sought to heal a residual fear and thus agreed to be the mother of two children who would at times push her away and not be able to hear her. The next sentence is really powerful. It says, fears veil, cover our remembrances from the past, right? As eternal souls, we are basically eternal souls. But when we get scared, we forget to do that. We do not remember that. But it says that if we avoid those fears, we say, okay, I will do things that in which I will just avoid them, then that cover or the veil just keeps growing thicker. On the other hand, if we embrace them and we pull aside the cover or the veil, then we'll reveal a brave soul who planned the opportunity for the fear to be removed. So it is like, don't step away from that, address them, don't try to put them aside. Because if you don't, then there'll be again another lifetime, another learning that you'll have to go through. Some of our pre-birth planning is based simply on a desire to have new experiences. It could be simple as that. You want a new experience. Ryan, for example, sought not only a rest, but also the opportunity to experience imbalance. And we spoke about this before. The imbalance he feels in this lifetime, for example, the sharp mood swings of bipolar disorder, contrast with both previous incarnations and the life he knows when in spirit is a life of perfect divine balance. If you think in the larger picture, his experiences create both balance and his appreciation of it. Because they say without darkness, we don't see light. Without imbalance, Ryan could have never really known balance. So now this imbalance helps correct it, and now he learns to appreciate more of the balance that he had before. This experiential understanding is a gift from his physical life and from his mother, who agreed before birth to make that life possible. So it was his Jennifer's kindness and goodness that she agreed to take on. So Jennifer, Ryan, and Bradley also choreographed, they also planned their lives to learn certain lessons. All three are learning the importance and value of communication, with Jennifer deepening the understanding of truthful communication that she demonstrated so admirably in her last incarnation. It was with wisdom that Ryan and Bradley had carefully selected her to be the teacher of this lesson. By teaching Ryan and Bradley to communicate, she, that is Jennifer, is engaged in an act of service to their souls. So it is a service when she agreed to be a mother, a teacher for them in this lifetime. As she serves them with compassion and unconditional love, she advances along the evolutionary spiral from mature to old soul. So whether handicapped or not, children are their parents' teachers, and Ryan and Bradley teach Jennifer even as they learn from her. This is very true in all our lives. Our children are our best teachers. Through them, Jennifer grows in patience, recognition of her own self-worth, the ability to lead a disciplined life, and the capacity to remain centered and grounded. So it's not easy with two children with disabilities and her previous life where she was not so focused. She had to be disciplined in this life to be able to compassionately teach her children. In addition to direct teaching, children further the parents' growth through the people they bring to their lives. This is too by design. When we plan our lives, we arrange the circumstances that will bring us to the other souls with whom we wish to work. And this is so true. When I spoke with parents of handicapped children, all of them commented on the extraordinary people they meet as a result of the children's handicaps. People they felt they already knew. In all likelihood, maybe they did. There is often a special bond that goes well beyond the commonality of having handicapped children. And they say that, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? So you really meet some people in tough situations, and they call them angels or something. I've experienced it. I'm sure all of you may have experienced it at some time. As we have seen, Ryan and Bradley chose very different obstacles through which to teach Jennifer and challenge themselves. So it's both for themselves and for Jennifer. Some souls are more inclined than others to choose great challenges. Souls who have tendencies in this regard will, like Ryan, seek balance over the span of many lifetimes. If Ryan and Bradley chose to continue working on lessons of communication, they may well design incarnations in which communication comes more easily, or in which they themselves can become gifted communicators. So it's things of how you challenge yourself to continuously evolve on a higher level. At some level, we are able to remember the souls we plan to meet and the life challenges we selected. Jennifer's fascination with autism in both high school and college is a vague recollection of a pre-birth blueprint. More than a mere shadow of memory, this interest was also, as she insightfully pointed out, a way for her soul to prepare her for what was to come. Our souls are in constant communication with us, lovingly supplying us with yearnings and interests that lay in the groundwork for the future. If we listen closely, we can hear our souls whisper to us the challenges we had planned. I thought that sentence was so beautiful. Maybe that's why we have to go into meditation, and they say, even if you have a glass of muddy water, if you keep it and everything will settle down, and then the clear thing comes out. So we have to be calm sometimes to hear our own souls whisper to us that these were the challenges you guys planned, and so don't feel victimized. Jennifer is correct when she says that she was chosen. So was her ex-husband. We thought they went through a divorce, but it was all a plan. From the perspective of the personality, it may appear that she was burdened with the challenge of raising two handicapped children on her own. However, Jennifer planned this aspect as well with a soul who loves her and who agreed to give her the experience she sought, just as she agreed to give her the children the experience they desired. There are no villains or bad guys in the script, only souls acting out with and out of love. The same love prompted two other members of the family, Bradley and Sarah, to also plan a close relationship in which Sarah would intuitively understand and communicate Bradley's needs. This was so important because Sarah's understanding of her mother's need to focus on her two siblings who were already challenged, and so she was able to help, communicate with Bradley's needs and not put additional burden on her mother, and her mother could focus more on the children. And all this was planned in the pre-birth planning. In the meshing of these life plans is an intricate, elegant coordination of purpose. Motivated by the twin desires of personal evolution and service to others, Jennifer, her ex-husband, Sarah, Ryan, and Bradley chose one another in love, just as other handicapped children and the siblings and parents choose one another in love. Love increases as it is given away. The more you give, the more it comes. Because souls are love, souls expand as they love. The love challenge of parenting a handicapped child is an opportunity to love. Despite its hardships and heartbreak, this challenge, so courageously embraced by Jennifer and her family, is therefore an expansion of their souls. They are all silent heroes. Bradley and Ryan may or may not achieve in ways that the society will reward or recognize, yet their accomplishments will be great. Jennifer's patience and compassion may not earn accolades, but her contribution is profound. Far from the world of competition and conquest, neither seeking nor garnering fame or praise, millions of handicapped children and their parents lead lives in which their courage is tested and reaffirmed daily with dignity and grace. These are lives of quiet magnificence. So it's so powerful that parents and they are kind of aware of this, and by sharing this, I think it will be good. How are we doing on time? We should be okay, right? So moving on to the next chapter, chapter 4, deafness and blindness. In this deafness and blindness, it was like it is much more difficult than, because if you think of the 5 physical senses that we have and not able to hear or not able to see, feels like almost impossible for a person who has not experienced this. So one of the questions that was there was, why do people have to pick up such tough challenges? And then the thought goes for the author to his young niece who was born almost deaf. And this is the story that will start of Penelope's story. And whenever this book was written, it says that in the United States alone, there are 25 million people over the age of 18 who are slightly hearing impaired. Another 6 million are severely impaired or deaf. And in this category is Penelope, the niece, who has been completely deaf since birth. And the question which is really hard to grasp sometimes is, if she chose to experience total deafness from the first moment of physical life, there must be some extraordinary reasons. And then because of that, he started to chat, and they conducted an interview over the internet by typing out words with instant messaging. So this is like using internet as a medium. And then we start with the Penelope story. It's Penelope, it says, when I was 7, I asked my mom why I was deaf. She says, I was upset and thirsty for a better answer, and she was sobbing, crying a lot. She held me in her arms, and the mother explained very calmly that it is not my fault and that God made me who I was, and that was very special. For Penelope, it was her first real, explicit, frustrated moment as a deaf individual, because she doesn't remember her plan before. So now it feels like, why was I deaf? She did not like it and almost wanted to say, I wanted to be out of it. But later, if you fast forward, 24 years old she is engaged and about to be married. And Penelope teaches American Sign Language and English to deaf adults, many of them who are not American citizens. Penelope says she provides guidance and confidence to these children. I mean, students are generally, if kids are not having the confidence, on top of it, they have the disability of not able to hear and see, maybe, then having to communicate with their peers is going to be so difficult. So typically, her pupils, her students have had little education, and Penelope's teaching suggests the life blueprint of a light worker. So we came across this word, I think, light worker term earlier. So she says a light worker is an individual who selects specific life challenges to stimulate both her own growth and that of many people. Again, it's one of those where they're helping others. So, but there was one interesting thing where they said that Penelope used to always have these nightmares where she would have really scared and she would get up screaming. And the reason for that is explained in a little bit. But one thing that they said was until the age of 9, Penelope studied in a deaf school. And so she was much more accepted. And she didn't have to work more hard towards it because the other kids were also deaf. However, her mother wanted her to go to a regular school and get adjusted. And so she needed an interpreter. And so it was already difficult. So in addition to having a challenge of being deaf, going to a new school, the author in this book, it says that Penelope had 2 more challenges. One, she was a female and an African American. So it says that in addition, her challenges were pretty high. It was a predominantly white school. So she kind of understood what race consciousness is and popularity, because some kids would want to just be with her to kind of show off to others that they know sign language. And then to be already an African American going into a regular school, that itself was hard to integrate. Good. And then on top of it, she was also having the challenge of being deaf. And high school was when she found it the most difficulty. She felt like she did not feel embraced because she was Black, because she was deaf, and or even by her deaf peers, because maybe many of them were not African American and same color as she. They might have been white, she recalls. When she spoke in class of what she describes as a queer voice, because she was deaf, and so they make some sound, try to communicate, articulate, but it comes out as a queer voice, as a different voice. And so she was to feel uncomfortable with it, and she kind of worried about it. She says that her she calls it the most favorite experience, but I was just trying to, when sometimes we all have names that people in this country have hard time even pronouncing, and they keep going and trying to tell her name. And in this case, she's trying to say her name as Penelope, but in sign language, the P is a silent letter, so she doesn't know how to say, and it started sounding like her name was Benelope. And then there was a lady who kind of looked at her and said, like, do you think you have a cold? Is that why you're talking so weirdly or purely? Or sometimes it is hard when there's deaf people say, oh, we cannot hear, we need to be able to take a pen or paper to write. And sometimes people are so much in a rush to go on to the next thing, you don't have the patience to say, okay, I'll give you a paper and pen. So when a deaf person is trying to communicate, the person who is able to hear, they don't understand. And so a lot of it is lost in communication. Sorry. A lot of it is lost in communication. So that is sometimes they misinterpret her. People with deaf or other things tend to use more try to use body language, and people can misinterpret it as different. Why are they using so much of body language? So in this case, it says that, when people with hearing, who are hearing challenged by hearing or something, they hear the people. Sometimes when you try to do lip reading or something, they're trying to talk loud, or they're make things, it makes them uncomfortable because they're not being accepted as they are. And so in some cases, it was like, even though that Penelope had this kind of a challenge, she had a good sense of humor. She was mischievous like a child, right? And sometimes you wouldn't know that, she tried to say something, or if people say that, can you read or something, because they would misinterpret the person who is challenged to hear. They would say, even question them, do you know how to read? And says Penelope says that sometimes she said that she would write back and say, no, I don't know how to read, just for just as a being funny or trying to be sense of humor. And just about one thing, I just go tangentially here. If anybody can get to see a 2022 movie called CODA, Child of Deaf Adults, CODA. It won 3 Oscars in 2022. Excellent movie if you want to see. But this whole thing, when I was reading this pages that were assigned to me, and I just saw this movie, it made so much sense. I can put it up in the chat if anybody is interested. So then they also asked, like any other teenager, dating and all, how was that experience? And Penelope just be honest with it, that generally communications are hard. And then, she talks of here, the high school dudes, who has interest in trying to listen to it, or have to take the time to do it. So she kind of missed on that male support and compassion, and she feels that hurt her very deeply. So going on to it, she says that I asked Penelope what she saw as the larger purpose of her deafness. What was the big picture? Why was it so important to you? And Penelope says, I knew I was meant to be deaf to better understand the neglected, she said. I want to bridge each gap between opposing groups, not just in the world of hearing and deaf, but also of any cultural boundaries. And so if you can remember that, the author says that he was struck by, because she uses the word, I was struck by Penelope's use of the word knew, like she already knew this. And that it wasn't like she was saying, I think or believe. Sometimes we say, I think or believe the reason I'm doing this is for something. She's so confident in herself. She's saying because she was African American, she was female, she was deaf. 3 big challenges at a time when, the school was predominantly white. It was in my heart, she said. I have intuition. I'm literally neglected on the basis of my deafness. People don't even consider it. They just neglect. I can't help but pay attention to others who have experienced some sort of neglect. I've been drawn to those who are lost, unaccepted, or uncategorized. My soul seems to want to utilize compassion for the forgettable and underrepresented. So that's beautiful there. And then the Penelope session with Stacey Wells. She the author says, a few days after a chat, Penelope and I met online with Stacey to access information about Penelope's pre-birth planning. So again, here, instant messaging is going on because Penelope is deaf and she cannot. So this is going by instant messaging. I will tell you by the impressions I see, hear, and feel, Stacey typed. These impressions come to me psychically. They're told to me through my spirit guide, who holds what he calls the Book of Lives, or as they're called, Akashic Records, in his hands. A book that contains all the information about the lives of everyone who has ever lived and who is alive today. I feel strongly that deafness is an opportunity for you to explore avenues of growth you're not been to explore before, as well as linked to your previous past life. Being deaf gives you the opportunity to be more in touch with your inner experience, intuition, thoughts, even the physical symptoms and feedback your body gives you. It helps you to know yourself. Stacey said that she had dreamed about Penelope. It was interesting that the medium, Stacey, had a dream about Penelope the previous night. And she says that it wasn't not unusual for Stacey to receive information. So it's like you make the contact, you're able to get that, and the information is sent psychically. And Stacey received information about someone prior to having a session with them. But this was the first time that Stacey says that she received it in the form of a dream. Her spirit guide tells me that I was already adjusting my frequency. So you almost think of this radio when you try to adjust your frequency of your radio to get the correct connection to be made to yours. So I was open to receiving information about you. I was dreaming about your most recent past life, the one that helped you decide to be present in this present lifetime. Stacy, in that dream, she says Stacy had seen Penelope at about age 3, when Penelope had seen her mother being verbally abused by a boyfriend. And this next part is really graphic. It's very sad. Instead of going through the reading, I'll just go through what happened. Stacy was about 3 years old. Her mother was living with a boyfriend who was verbally abusive, and sometimes they would fight. And Stacy was Penelope was a small girl, very emotionally sensitive. And so this thing continued for a long time, for 2 to 3 years. And then she knew that Penelope's mother in that lifetime is again. And so it says at one time the abuse escalated. It became so high at one time that the boyfriend actually tried to strangle Penelope's mother with a telephone cord. And then later at one time, Penelope was standing outside with her neighbor at the apartment, and the fighting happened. The mother was running from one room to the other. And then you hear some gunshots, and they find that Penelope's mother, sorry, was shot. And then the boyfriend, in the moment of sadness, or he overcomes with what he has done, he kills himself also. So all this little girl is hearing it with her neighbor outside. And then that was why, that when the dream ends, is why Penelope would get up in her dream and scream. In that lifetime, Penelope also had a very short life. I think only up to the age of 30 or something, she kind of passes away. It seems like she takes her own life. And so this traumatic experience is what has that was the last thought that she had. She missed her mother for the few years. The sound of that, because of the gunshot sound in this lifetime, she chose the challenge of being deaf, because those things were continuously coming into her. She just did not want the fright, the horror, the screams the day that she heard. And so now she's understood that that's why she had picked up such a challenge. And also the reason for her nightmares, because anybody to go through that is going to be hard. And she was such a small child, and going through that was very traumatic for her. So that's where we are, Madhuji. So that's why she was trying to utilize her
Yes.
all her identifiers in this lifetime, being deaf, female, young, ethnic minority, because she was African American, and she was trying to use that to help others.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Neeraja Ji. Wonderful, for doing this Swadhyaya wonderfully, and really interesting stories. And I would not say interesting, but it's like so many things in a single story.
Yeah.
So much pain, so much violence, and definitely who would like to hear, all such things. Definitely a soul plans and goes through such. I never even thought that, maybe in the past lives that people go through so many things in their life.
Yeah.
Past lifetimes, and that's why they choose to be deaf, blind, and whatnot. It's like, my goodness. And even when I look at my day and your day, just imagine when you were talking to me in the afternoon, and I was, this is our evening time. You've gone through a certain set of things, and I went and checked on my friend, and but the time is like, definitely everyone would be rushing through around you when you fell down, right, today. And they were doing, but some of them would be rushing so that they can just help you and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. And same way, like with me, I had many other things, but my friend wanted my time, so I just sat there patiently.
Yeah,
like,
that's also important. Yes.
that's also important. And so now when I'm just all the stories, and then Penelope stories, and then Stacy, and Jennifer story, Bradley, Ryan,
Ryan.
all those, Sarah. So now what are we looking into? Basically, Jennifer was also patiently taking care of her children, taking time, giving them time, understanding them, not rushing. The point that I take away from today is not to rush through, but being patient. But also, one more thing that screams so loudly at us is that whatever happens in our lives with our children's, with our, how we are helping our children grow up. One more thing that comes into point here, many people who are living in US, it's not easy living here. But then I have seen many people where they have arguments, fights, and personally, I've seen in my school days when I was like, not my school days, but when I used to be a teacher, there were some certain kids where they were coming from those families where they had a lot of arguments, a lot of people have had a lot of addictions, smoking, marijuana, weed, and when the children would come in the school in the morning, they would reek of that smoke. Just imagine, I have, I smell them, and small children, so beautiful, so innocent, but the house or the parents that they don't even know that if they go home, their mother would be there or not, or their father would be there or not, who would take care of them, would make food for them, and whatnot. So when I am reading this, like when I was hearing whatever you read here in the story, it's like really, and then your next lifetime, you really don't want to hear all those things. That's why you chose to be blind or deaf.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I'm really
Even like Ryan, right? When he always was so disciplined, scientific, this thing. He just was so tired in that previous lifetime. He just wanted not to do something and not have anybody have expectations.
Yes, see, that's what that don't expect anything from me. Sometimes our soul gets tired, and that's why there is this. Sometimes we need to relax. We need to take rest, and that is why the universe wants us to take rest. Don't rush. Take rest.
Yeah.
And amazing. Oh my God, really. Sometimes we just want to be like just like that. We just want to be the way we are. We don't. That's why it's always good to accept yourself, whoever you are, the way you are, accept yourself. It's okay. So the point is that I always would like to say to people, be who you are, accept yourself. It's much better to accept yourself than not accepting and creating a facade for yourself. So,
And also, it's okay not to meet the society's expectations, which is higher in Indian Desi families also, right? Oh, in ours, it never
right.
happens. Nobody talks of anything. Everything is shut down. So, I mean, this thing I've personally experienced. Everybody talks, oh, please call us if you need anything, right? But when really something comes, you don't see many people. But for that parent to say it's okay, I'm going through it, I think.
Yeah, no, but wonderful. Very good points to take away from the story. So, Masters, anyone would like to share their view or would like to ask anything, or otherwise you want to go and go into meditation? Neeraja ji, would you like to do meditation, give meditation, or?
No, I'll give it to you.
Okay,
I'll,
my part I'm doing.
yes,
See, I don't know who would like to, but
right. No, next time will be,
yeah,
because I was not sure whether I
that's
was a little
so. But
next time.
thank you so much, Neeraja ji, for your wonderful Swadhyaya. We learned a lot from the story, from chapter 3 and 4. And so, Masters, let's go into meditation. So, as you all know, we all do Anapansati meditation because that is what we are teaching here in this group. And so before you go deep into meditation, let's take our position. So as you are going to sit in a relaxed and comfortable position, you have to close three or lock 3 points. First is your feet. So cross your feet, sit cross-legged like this, with your feet like this. With your hands, you have to clasp your hands and fingers and close your eyes. And when you clasp your hands and fingers, keep them on your lap, close your eyes, and become one with your breath. So as you try to become one with your breath, how you are going to do that? You are going to breathe in very slowly and steadily. And when you are going to breathe out, that also will be very slow and steady. Take your time when you are breathing in and take your time when you are breathing out. So at least in the start or at the start, breathe in, take 10 seconds to breathe in and take 10 seconds to breathe out. Go very slow and steady, masters. There's no competition, no force whatsoever. Let's sit comfortably. As you breathe in and breathe out, masters, let us relax our body from head to toe, breathing in and feeling that our forehead is becoming peaceful and calm, becoming rejuvenated and relaxed as you breathe out. As you are progressing inwards, masters, with each and every step, feel your body from head to toe. Relax your crown, topmost part of your head, the left and right side of your brain, which stands for your feminine and masculine energies. As you breathe in, one by one, relax the left and right side. The left brain helps you be logical, analytical. It shows your strength, your courage, your confidence, and the willpower, the masculine energies, just like the vibrant sun. And the right side helps you with loving energies, harmonious energy, creativity, kindness, compassion, imagination, love, peace, joy, and happiness. Both the sides of our brain help us achieve different things. So as you bring in this breath energy, let it help you uncover your own potential from the brain's point of view. We all have different abilities and skills. We all are unique. Sometimes we do compare us with others. We always look onto the other side, that the grass will be greener when we go someplace else. Or what the other has, I should also have. But the point is, everyone has everything that they ever need. It is all inside of you. So as you breathe in, masters, feel the bliss, happiness, peace coming inside with each and every breath and relaxing you, your brainstem, the innermost part of your head, your pineal gland, pituitary gland, and hypothalamus. You might be one in a million. You never know. Which sets you apart. Your thumbprint never matches to anyone. Why? Because we all are unique. Even the universe, the creator, created us, has chosen you to be different. So why become like someone else? Why create that facade for yourself? This is your creation. Everyone around you is what you have created to just become one with everything. Your life, your rules, and your choices. It's up to you what you want to create. As you breathe in, feel the blissful energies of every breath, relaxing your face and facial expressions. Every breath brings a lot of rejuvenation and happiness. Relax yourself, your eyes, your ears, and your facial expressions. As you breathe in, masters, relax your spine, your vertebrae, your upper back, middle back, and lower back. We've got all the support within ourselves. As you breathe in, you relax yourself with this blissful energy. Every second, every moment. As you breathe in again, masters, try to relax your heart and your lungs. Let them expand with each incoming breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And relax. Now, as you breathe in again, come down, bring your attention into your stomach region, your abdomen. Every part of your abdomen receives this life force energy, helping you relax and helping your organs work efficiently and properly. Every breath that you breathe in rejuvenates all your insides, your abdomen. As you breathe in, masters, now let us relax the lower half part of the body. Relax your hips, thighs, knees, calf muscles, the soles of your feet, ankles, knees, toes. Feel every breath entering into your muscular base, your bones, your bone marrow. Every cell is becoming rejuvenated. As you breathe in, masters, feel the rejuvenation totally happening inside your body from head to toe. We all are totally relaxed. Now, as you progress further and go deeper, try to ground your energies into Mother Earth. Let us also invite all the beings who live below Mother Earth, inside Mother Earth. All the beings who would like to meditate with us, we invite them and invoke them to come and meditate together, raise their frequency, and liberate themselves with love, light of wisdom, knowledge, and positivity. I invite each and every being who would like to change and who would like to be a positive being, who would like to liberate themselves and go to higher dimension. I invite you to meditate together. Coordinating together, grounding our energies into Mother Earth, and practicing meditation daily by breathing in and breathing out and becoming one with everything. Now let go of any identity that you associate yourself with and go deeper, more deeper as you breathe in and breathe out. As you go deeper, Master, keep your eyes closed. Nobody is going to open their eyes. Be slow and steady with your breath. You all have to become one as we breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, nostrils, go deeper and deeper into higher meditational states. Raise your vibration and consciousness as you breathe in and breathe out. My dear masters, please welcome back into our body's consciousness, giving thanks to Mother Earth and all the beings who are meditating with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for meditating with us, helping us to see Mother Earth's unconditional love and harmonizing energies of oneness, helping us balance and ground our energy. Thank you, each and every master meditating with us. Thank you to our own bodies. We are coming back into our body's consciousness, masters. Very slowly, try to straighten up your spine, your neck and your head, and clasp your hands and fingers very slowly, whenever you feel comfortable. As you breathe in and breathe out, feel the energies from head to toe. As you breathe in, masters, and as you straighten up your body, your spine, your neck, and your head, feel your toes and clasp your hands. And now, very slowly, keep the palm of your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And whenever you feel comfortable and ready, masters, very slowly open your eyes beneath your palms. Now remove your hands with a beautiful smile and give thanks to all the fellow meditators and to your own self and to all the beings from Mother Earth who are here with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, masters. Thank you. So if you have any questions or any experiences to share, masters, feel free to raise your hand and share. If not, that's okay as well. We can definitely end the session. And happy Makar Sankranti to all the participants from India and people from US. Thank you so much. Thank you, Asha ji. Thank you so much. Gratitude. Thank you. Masters, with that, we can end the session here. And I hope you all had a wonderful Swadhyaya. Thank you to Neeraja ji. And yes, Sonal ji. Yes. Yes, Neeraja ji. Yes, Sonal ji. Pranam.
आत्मवंदन मैम, आत्मवंदन
Atmandan
नीरजा
Sonal.
मैम, आत्मवंदन और पार्टिसिपेंट।
Thank you.
थैंक यू मैम, बहुत अच्छा ध्यान लगा मैम।
Wonderful.
Nice
आज तो
meditation.
आज मैं मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बोल रही हूँ।
Sure, go
आज
ahead.
जैसे आते ही शुरू होता हुआ ना, वैसे ही वो डॉग आया और डॉग जैसे हमारे सामने आ रहा है, मेरे सामने आ रहा है, और फिर बीच में वो यहाँ ये वो बीच बीच में जगह नहीं होती, 2 रोड के बीच में, वहां खड़े होके सब जानवर जैसे लाइन से खड़े हैं और सब ऐसे ऐसे कर रहे हैं।
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Very nice.
बहुत अच्छा लगा मैम।
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your wonderful experience, Sonal ji. Really, because see, that was the message for us always, like in the Hindi group. So I'm just trying to connect ourselves with all the fellow meditators from the planet Earth, from all the beings that are there beneath Mother Earth, who want to meditate with us. So because that was the message, as yesterday also I told that the beings from Naglok also wants to meditate with us, and that's what they want to liberate themselves. So, thank you, Sonalji. Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you. Yes. So Ramakant ji is new in this group. I'm not sure if you already know about meditation, Ramakanji, but if you don't know, let me know. And if you want to ask anything, please do. I would just like you to unmute for a few seconds and please do. Namaskar.
Yeah, Namaskar, Neeraja E. I think nice experience I'm having. And thanks, one of my friends has added me in this group. So this is my first time now.
I can't hear you properly. Um, hello? Where are you
Yeah,
joining from, Ramakant sir?
I'm joining from Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my first time, and one of my friend has added me into this group.
Mm-hmm.
So nice experience today attending this. I'd like to continue.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And were you
Yeah.
able to, is this your first time or you had been meditating earlier?
This is first time.
So were you able to meditate the whole time with us or it was difficult?
It looked a bit difficult, distracting. It took some time to focus.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, be there every day and practice every day, Master. Thank you so much, Ramas.
Sure.
Sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, Masters, with that, we are at the end.
Swadhyaya, one quick question
Sure,
on that.
sure.
You were saying in the Hindi session, you were talking about the Naglok. Is that separate? Just why they just picked up that Naglok, or all animals? Or that seems to be a. I'm a big animal lover, so.
See, basically, when we talk about serpents and naglok, they are right now, as such, they are saying that they stay above Earth's surface, atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere. So I would say, but as such, when we talk about them, basically, there's a different dimension to them, right? But as such, we all know that they live beneath this Earth's surface, right? They stay there, that's their home. But so I'm just inviting, because every day I am connecting ourselves to Mother Earth, grounding our energies and helping her in return, basically by giving her the universal light. She is also receiving through us, but
Yes.
also she's harmonizing our energies, grounding us and stabilizing our energies. So that was the message earlier, that I have to ground everyone with Mother Earth. So I was doing that. Now there's different message that came, and it was like as if Naglok beings, they want to meditate with us, as if it's a boon to us, helping us, removing all the obstacles from our lives. That's what the message was. And so, but they want to liberate. They want to also, get into that positivity and all those good energy. So they also want to meditate with us. And that's what I was doing, because that was the message. So a few days ago, I had something coming into my mind that, so I was just thinking why this is coming. There must be something. So I happened to speak to one of our masters, and so we were talking about it, and I knew about, so it was about Nag Takshak. I had some calculations going on, and I had this in my chart. So I was thinking that that time has come for me. Something was there. So I was just trying to figure out things, and then somehow I found that, then one day in our group, there's a lady named Krishna Singh Ji, and she gave that message. Because when you are in a group, everyone takes the message, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get the message when I am busy, somebody else who is on that vibrational level will receive that message. So she got that message. But why the same name? My point is, why the same name? So I was very correct in comprehending that, yes, we have to, maybe they are asking for help, but in return, they would maybe in our past life, in my past life, I had done something as a warrior, done something. So maybe as a boon, they are for giving all those acts, and
Mhm.
they want me to help them meditate and liberate them.
Yeah. Because these are my two dogs, and I had a dog previously. He passed away with old age. All three of them, you do Vishnu Sahasram or Hanuman Chalisa or meditation, they'll just sleep there. They will just,
Because there's a lot of positivity that comes
Mhm.
out from our bodies, our
Yeah.
mind, and they like that. And that is
Yeah.
why. So even I had like 3, 4 dogs in my home, and that was like my father would always bring. Today only I was talking with that friend, who I went to, basically, and I was just talking that I also had a German Shepherd, but before that an Alsatian, different poodle, and
Mhm.
all sorts of dogs were there in my home.
Mhm.
And I'm a dog lover, big time.
Yeah.
And tiger, lion, I love them. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And during this time when I went to Gold Pyramid Conference in this September last year, September. So in Chicago, we have this Gold Pyramid Conference. So I had the chance to go there. But before I went, I saw 2 golden snakes in my um, dreams before I was going. I said the masters had prepared everything. So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
but
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Neeraja.
And then tomorrow there's nothing on the schedule, or it's
We will have a normal class if you all wish, but no Swadhyaya tomorrow. So we'll have a general class, okay?
and then from Monday and all we'll just
I
read the
hope
next
so.
chapter.
Maybe tomorrow we can discuss about the Swadhyaya, who all can Swadhyaya, do the Swadhyaya. We can discuss again and then we can go away, like, go ahead from there, right?
Okay. If we are hoping like we'll not lose power. I know there's somebody from Dallas also here. Last time we lost gas for a whole week. So we'll see how we'll do. If I'm not on there,
No, just think
this time it'll be
positively.
good.
Yeah,
Positive.
think positive. Yeah, positive thinking works.
Okay. Good
So
night.
thank you so much, masters, and definitely maybe not tomorrow, but not day after tomorrow, if because still we haven't distributed the pages. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we had a good 1 week, and
Week.
we actually
Very nice.
covered till 97, and I'm so happy and proud that yeah, wonderful that we all did a great teamwork. So very happy. Thank you, Neeraja ji. Thank you so much, and
Thank
thank you
you
to
all.
all the participants who were listening. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night and happy Sankranti.
Yes, happy Makar Sankranti, masters. Happy
Yes.
Lori, and have a wonderful day from whichever part of the world you're joining in, and have a restful night if you're from this part of the world, from US. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you, Neeraja ji.